Hey there, everybody. This video is our reaction to The Voice results. We now know the top five, and I think there are a lot of takeaways and questions we can sort of raise in this video, including just kind of, if the same four people who got America's vote the first time around are the same four people that got America's vote this time around, what's really the point? Like, that's something I wonder with The Voice a lot of the time. It is so predictable 95% of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, we gotta congratulate The Voice on their all four male finalists.
This is the dude fest, to use a slightly different term to one I really want to use, but it is a lot of guys. It is a very predictable dude lineup. We'll go through what's going on here and how I think that this whole rule about every coach needs to have an artist in the finale is kind of but before we dive in, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we've got coming up your way.
Okay, so before we dive too deeply into anything else, we do need to address that elephant in the room, which is all of the finalists that went through before this Sing for Your Life were all men, which was, some of them I agreed with going through, like Thunderstorm. That was a no-brainer. Cam West, my favorite. And then I was kind of like, how is Tanisha not in here? Like, this is so bizarre. Her voice is incredible. And Tanisha's got to sing for her life. It was bizarre. And then you sort of see like, oh, here's all your finalists and they're all men. And here's all the 5 people singing for their life and they're all women. I was just like, this is real weird this year. Yeah, I can't remember a time that I've seen this.
When you have, I think when you have optics that are that like extreme, where I'm sure there's been seasons where you have a finale of all guys and maybe a couple of guys and a couple of women are I can't remember a time it was all guys in one group, all women in the other group.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like it needs to be balanced. Oh, we need a couple women, we need a couple men. I'm not that kind of person. I feel that it needs to be whoever's the best is the best. If it happens to be all women, it's all women. If it happens to be all men, it's all men. But Tanisha's not in there, then all the best are not in there. And that's just kind of the way it is. And I'm not here to like take a shot at Todd or anything, because we just talked about Todd last night. Todd did a great job as well. And it was great to get to know him and stuff like that. But Tanisha is like in a lane of her own, and her voice is so incredible. Even just her save song tonight was so incredible, hitting these notes that no one else in this competition is hitting.
That was such a risky song choice for her, because that is the song. There's about a 3-second period in that song, and you know exactly the 3-second period that I'm talking about. If you nail that, you automatically should get a golden ticket somewhere. If you botch that, then it is all over and you get instantly eliminated. She did it. That is a flex, if there ever is one, to be able to do that.
Oh, for sure. That is, you guys should have voted for me, and don't you feel silly with egg on your face that you didn't, because wow.
It is really true. And I'm going to try to go through a couple of different things here, because I felt pretty much from the start that Todd was going to go through, but the problem to me isn't so much Todd. The problem to me is, I feel like, and this is no offense to Micah, but I feel like Micah should not have gone through.
I agree with that. No offense to Micah. Micah does have a great voice, but this wasn't his time.
I just feel
I guess it is, but for me, it wasn't his time.
It's this rule, and I know that you have all the coaches, and I like to call this on some level the Adam Levine rule, because I think there was some scuttlebutt that Adam being unhappy about certain parts of the way the competition was run kind of led to some of this happening again. But I do just think that the best of the best should be in the finale, and if a coach just doesn't have a great team this year, they don't have a great team this year. Kelly's had great teams in the past, but I just don't feel like her team was altogether strong this time. And it just so happens Blake has Todd and Tanisha. If you really like both of them, and I think a lot of people really do like both of them and really should, they should both be able to move on without even throwing the wild card into the mix.
I totally agree. I think that this rule that each coach has to have somebody in there is kind of bogus. I feel like it needs to be whoever is the best is there. We want the best. We're the viewers. We want to watch who is the best that's there. And I feel like it's a little bit kind of unfair to the people who are singing as well. Do you really want to be there because of this rule? It almost feels like kind of like a participation trophy that you're there. You get to be there because of this rule. You're not there because of your voice. And that's not exactly fair to anybody. It's not fair to us watching. It's not fair to the singers there either. The only person that it's fair to is the coaches. And it shouldn't matter as much if they get to have somebody in there or not. Because they can still, and they do, root for other people as well. They're all very supportive of everybody who's there.
This is sort of where my brain is at with this now as well, in that I feel like there are two people who did not go through it all who I think are both better than Micah, and because they were both on teams with really, really just dominant powerhouse singers, they didn't really have a chance. One of them is Allegra, who I think had a really, really good Save Me performance.
Yep.
Pretty tough song. She really nailed that. And the other is Zan, who I don't think Zan had her best performance in the Save Me song. I didn't like it as much as Yesterday or Blowing in the Wind the week before.
That was great.
But I still love Zan, and I think she had an excellent audition, and I think her overall body of work is really, really good. And so I want to live in a hypothetical world here where you had Tanisha and Todd get through with the vote, and then you have Thunderstorm and Cam West, and then from there, maybe Zan and Allegra both actually have a chance to try to find a way to the next stage of the competition.
I love that Zan's family were all wearing shirts that said Zan fan on them.
This is very true. I think
it was so cute.
Any fan name that you can come up with of like two things that rhyme is instantly appealing. Like Jimmy Fallon's are Foul Pals. Always come up with the fun rhymes. We will celebrate you for that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give a brief round of applause here to Thunderstorm and Cam West, who I think both definitely deserve this. I think we're in agreement that they should be the favorites to win The Voice, one of the two of them.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to, but I really feel like they are consistently the most talented, the most artistic. You know, I think Tanisha is probably the best overall singer of the bunch. Like, if I was just to hand someone a song and be like, sing the heck out of this, I would run to Tanisha as fast as possible.
Yeah, Tanisha is just incredible. Her range is something else. My goodness. It was this song tonight that she did. It was so good. And what really kind of sucks about the whole situation is that even if she sang this yesterday to be able to sort of go through, she still would have not ended up going through, and she still would have been in this situation. That's what I think.
Well, I think you're right, and I don't think anything would have changed. The only note I can even give Tanisha is, and this is probably not even her fault, I think her arrangements sometimes are a little bit predictable, like the Stronger that felt very much just like the original, and it's sort of like, you guys have a powerhouse in Tanisha. Let's find some ways to mix things up a little bit more for her so that she has other moments beyond just her voice. But this whole result show in general is really, really weird. This format, doing it live. Where was Blake at when all of this is going on?
Listen, it was the live format is not working. They whatever the delay is that's going on, and then they're putting in these, oh, here's these funny clips of everybody at home and all the coaches at home. And then Carson can't even get any questions in for Tanisha at the end. She just gets cut off. Nothing from Blake. It's just like, okay, I can do without some of this other stuff. You don't need to take away from the actual contestants that are here. She's singing for her life kind of thing. It's like, oh, no time for you. It's just like, what? So her going through after that, where she was just kind of cut off, I was like, okay, well, at least she went through, because I felt like she was getting a bit of the bad end of the stick.
Well, this is the problem, right? The Voice, it's not really about the contestants. It's about let's watch Blake do something goofy. Let's watch some ribbing between the coaches. It is so much about the people in the chairs that is why I think we don't have like a legitimate superstar who has come out of this show. Like there's a couple of people, Cassidy Pope, Danielle Bradbury, who've had like some level of success, but there's not, to use a certain other coach here, there's no Kelly Clarkson.
No, I agree. And I just don't understand why there can't be that balance, because they have found that over on Idol, where it's not about the judges, but there is enough ribbing back and forth where it's fun to watch them, but the stars are actually the stars. And the other thing that they do really well over there is just the arrangements of the songs. They do let people play around with it. And I don't know if that's the artists on The Voice are not comfortable to play around with it, or maybe this is just a thing with the particular songs that they're singing, that maybe, yeah, we can license this song, but this artist isn't okay with a rearrangement or a reimagining of this song. We don't know what's going on over there, but there is a lot of performances that are just straight covers, and it can get kind of lost, especially on top of the coaches, because it is the coaches' show.
The thing that's the funniest to me about all of this is that Katy Perry can show up on American Idol dressed as a character from Dumbo.
Or toilet paper.
And still, somehow, the focus is not really on her as much as the contestants. Yeah. If Blake showed up as a giant roll of toilet paper, that would be all we saw for the entirety of the hour, would be Blake making jokes that are slightly, a little bit edgy for 8 p.m. television.
Yeah, and it's true. If this was happening over on The Voice, it would be all about Blake dressed up. And then you have someone who's an equally big star in Katy Perry dressed up as hand sanitizer, but the focus is still on Arthur Gunn and Francisco and all these other big singers that are feels like they're going to be big stars. And it kind of makes it more difficult on The Voice to really get to know anybody. That's why some of the at-home stuff I've really liked, like I got to really know Todd with all the family pictures and stuff like that. But then sometimes with the live shows, it's like, no time for Tanisha, moving on. Here's what it is. I was just like, Carson, get it together, man. Like, reel people in, please.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why this happens on The Voice. It happens a lot. It's weird, but all of this is weird. We're in a weird zone right now. It's a weird show. We have our final 5. Even that is strange, because we usually have more than 5, but kind of glad we have 5, because that means we do have Tanisha in the finale. Imagine what this video would have been like if there was only 4 and there was no Tanisha.
And it was all men. What is happening here?
All right, well, let's hear from you guys. What did you think about The Voice results tonight? Be sure to share in the comments, and if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.